In a world of swords and magic, our main character is Ren. You're one of countless ordinary adventurers of this world. You have to get up early to make money, because he is a poor man. Only rich nobles sleep until noon. Why a free adventurer like you has to get up so early is to find a trust. At the Adventurers Association, came early. You can choose to delegate appropriate to your own rank before being taken away by others. The contents of the commission may include the destruction of demonic or collect beasts 10 herbs and ingredients. Before choosing a trust of your own, Ren met and greeted another party that I know they got the job done and left. And Ren still couldn't find a trust. Most adventurers team up together, but Ren likes to go alone. Because I find myself falling behind too much. Because despite being an adventurer, but you're still at the same level. Even so, you can still kill and sell them to the Adventurers Guild. To enough pages. Living your life, you're the kind of person who always save money in case of need. I then went into the dungeon and go to the deepest part of this dungeon by yourself. I suddenly found a wall. A hole was broken through by some creature. And thought this was a secret passage. Ren thinks he's hit a big batch. So I decided to risk going inside. I quickly realized this was a new area, not yet discovered. Should be secretly glad that you'll find precious items here. Worth it. You should go back and give this to the guild for the reward. But for a minute, greed. I chose to go deeper inside, and then he encounters a dragon. The creature at the top of all magical beasts. This dragon is very strange, but the pressure it exerts, then you can't be wrong. You're under the pressure of it, you can't move. Then he was eaten. And yet somehow, Ren is alive, but only a skeleton. Ren is now a zombie. It can also be considered immortal. But if you're hit by the cleansing magic, the church will surely die, because a skeleton is alive. It is considered contrary to the natural laws of God. I don't know what to do right now. I thought about going back to the club, but now back. You will be destroyed anyway, or be taken to the purifying church. You're panicking. I noticed that the dragon was no longer around. So I'm sure you should get out of here first. Although many researchers have been investigating for a long time the origin and structure of the monsters in the labyrinth, the existence of monsters in the maze alone, it's also been a mystery. Ren then decided to wait for the explorer to arrive, to try exchange. But now you need to get used to this skeletal body first. You don't seem to be able to speak normally. He then meets another skeleton. I picked up my sword and found my body heavier. No more muscle. So your fitness is also declining. He then rushed to swing his sword to slash the skeleton. After the sword was too heavy, the bones came running. He also fell suddenly. He's trying to reattach his fallen leg. And Ren realized that you can't use the theory of conventional swordsmanship. He decided to use his energy to change the way he fought. You've used energy to strengthen your body, and was able to swing a sword and destroy a flash of human bones. It's turned to genes. I remember Ra, as the scholar friend I knew, mentioned one thing. The monsters in the labyrinth have a very different often have to train and forge to grow and be strong. Monsters are like skeletons. There's a rate of being undead. And then I became a ghost. Rent thinks that if he becomes a ghost and then use a cloak to hide himself, maybe go back to the city. I decided to set the goal. Destroy monsters in the labyrinth. To evolve. And then come back. Not long after. Ren killed 5 human bones. You see the light every time you kill a skeleton. I can help you recover. So you can constantly use your energy to fight and get used to new ways of fighting. I later discovered a Slim Sim. It's considered a weak monster on par with the skeletal man. But you can say that Slim is your natural enemy. Slim is afraid of magic. And you're just learning physical attack techniques. I didn't learn to use magic. So the only way you can kill Slim is to cut through its core, or slash so much that it can't recover. I then threw a blow, and was lucky enough to cut its core. Slim attacks by shooting acid. But the fluid when Slim died was no longer acidic. It's used to make makeup for women, because it helps smooth the skin. Meanwhile, at the Adventurers Guild, you are welcome, are being asked by colleagues about the newcomer. Then you tell me. I'm going to ask Ren to guide this new person. But Ren has not returned since yesterday. Girl, new people don't have the money to stay long. He also went to the labyrinth to earn money and waited for Ren to return. After a day in the labyrinth, I found myself no longer hungry or tired. Evolution is slow but few. Most importantly, your body is back as stable as before. I am now more used to using magic. You can also use holy magic, even though it's a skeleton. This treatment is beyond treatment. It can also help purify water and food preservation. I want to keep the bread from going rancid in case you need to use it later. I decided to be careful about killing monsters. If you see 1 to 3, you can more still than that, fight. We can only run. Rita noticed, I've been an adventurer for 15 years. But you're still too weak. I know I'm not fit for this job. Normal people. I'm only going to be an adventurer for a few years. Then he retired to find another job. But I keep the idea that as long as you survive, you'll still be every day we're practicing non-stop. You try so hard. It's because of my dream to become a high-level adventurer. The rank that an adventurer, you have to save an entire country. I still don't give up, even if you're just a skeleton now. He then went on to kill monsters, and you seem stronger now than when you were a human. You're going to collect 10 fluids from Suddenly the light from it passes to you and make you evolve. Ren first became a flesh-eating zombie. However, it is still incomplete. Although I could have said, but the words are not clear. I know this evolution works. I decided to kill more monsters. Ren then began hunting the higher beings. Like Golini do has become undead, so you're much more flexible. More than that, his energy and magic also increased. It makes it easier for you to fight. You can easily destroy 2 godlins and realize that I'm much stronger now. When I was human, then I discovered a human in the maze. I decided not to show up. I'm afraid the girl over there will run away or attack back. I also realized that this girl is new. I know most of the adventurers in Grand City. After a while watching this rookie girl, you see this girl has a sword. Have been trained. The experience is still poor. You're not very good at looking around. A skeletal man then rushed to attack the girl and got you cornered. You tried to fight back the skeletal man, but it grabbed your sword. Ren was forced to step out to help the girl. You've appeared behind the skeleton and then swung a sword and cut the skeletal man. He then went to greet the girl, but she's still amazed and scared of you. He introduced Tyr to the girl and threw the sword away. I have no intention of harming you. Let me tell you, it's about dying and being transformed into this form. She asked if he was going to kill her if she left. You denied that you had any intention of doing that. He then asked the girl to help him buy some clothes to cover this body. I want to go back to the city. He then gave the girl the money and asked her to buy it for him. The rest of the money will be given to you. She then introduced herself as Rena, and I'll repay your favor. As the daughter of a family of knights, he then led Rena to the labyrinth door and let her leave. I promise I will come back to help my friend. I noticed Rena was still on my guard. However, it's necessary for an adventurer. I'm also worried that Rena will report this to the guild, but I don't want to think too much. Then move on. Rena then returned to the guild and went to see the receptionist. Ren continues to kill monsters and try to accumulate more power to evolve. He then noticed that Mina was back. When you called Ren, you showed up. However, she was not sure, so she held the sword. Tell me, at this low level, you're the only zombie. The real dead have to be on a higher level. Lena said she brought you something. And also pay you extra. I looked at the clothes. I noticed that this thing was quite wide and covered my body. Lena also bought bandages, by the way, to help Ren wrap his hands and so as not to be exposed. Dressed up and find your face still vulnerable. That's why, Vina, I have a mask for you too. I took the mask and tried it on. It stuck to Ren's face. I realized that this mask is cursed and cannot be removed. Even using holy magic, you can't remove it. Ren's whole outfit is... She asked the receptionist for help in finding a place to buy this mask. You saw a seller on the street. Should buy it first. And you find yourself wrong. There's no question about the cheap price of this mask. You feel guilty. But Ren doesn't blame you. He thinks he just needs to make money now and ask a high-level magician to help lift the curse. Rena has now realized Ren is a very kind person, and she won't be afraid of you anymore. They both then left the maze. Ren heard about Rena's situation. I know you're from another city, but she moved here to study and become an adventurer. There's been 20 arcs to explore recently. Time to the gate. Grand is worried because you'll be forced to give out your passport. You don't look like you in the picture. So Rena wants to take you through another gate. But I don't want to bother Rena anymore, because I'm worried if her body is exposed, Rena will be monsters into the city. But you owe Ren's life. I want to help you from now on. Ren then went to the gate and put out an adventurer's badge to get through the gate. Rena thought for me. The reason is that you were attacked and I want to find a mask to hide. But Black, unfortunately, when the mask is cursed and you can't take it off, the soldiers also tried to pull out the Ra mask, so you've only got to hire the holy wizard to take over. Once in the city, Ren thanked Vina, then suddenly disappeared. I don't want to get involved with Vina anymore, because I know you will soon grow up and become an adventurer. Smarter than you. I want to wait until I'm more human. I will come to you to apologize. I couldn't ask Rena anymore, so I went to her. Your fellow scholar is Vi Vi. She was sleeping when she heard the sound of Rent. I should have come to see you as usual. But Ren is different now. With Ren to see the aunt of the other day, Vivi had to ask Ren what happened in the labyrinth. Then I heard about Ren, and saw the dragon eating and becoming a zombie. It's too hard to happen. The dragon doesn't seem to be in the maze anymore. I think this is quite suspicious. But everything that Rent says, they all appear in front of you right now. Vi later asked me again, is it really the Rent you know? Lace can't be sure, because you only have Rent's memory and consciousness. You yourself don't know. Is this body really my own before, or not? She then asked Ren what he was going to do. I still want to be an adventurer, but you can't use this form to the guild. So asked Vi Vi to accept the trust for you. At the same time, she also allowed Ren to stay here. I have to let you study me. Ren agreed, but as long as she didn't dissect him. The next morning, Vi Vi brought Ren's magic stones and Slim to sell and earn a decent amount of money. I decided to take this money to the blacksmith shop to buy a new sword out in this suspicious form to get you noticed. Pretty much Ren then went to the blacksmith shop. And the lady here is a little surprised by Ren's appearance. I brought Ra's sword and asked this shop to help forge it. The owner looked through the sword. I realized you seem to have used gas, the power and magic to fight. After asking how much Ren's budget was, then the owner found he had enough money to make a sword. You'll get half the deposit first. Take the other half when the sword is done. The sword will take some time to form, so the boss wants contact information to call Cho. He told her to go to the scholar Vivi when she needed it. Vivi is currently looking for it. Dead bodies are usually born of dead bodies, and most of the undead come back to life. They often lose their reason and emotions. So a zombie like Ren right now, it's a special individual. You can't conclude anything yet about Ren's situation right now. You're not sure the current zombie, is it Ren from the day before? Not. But your mind is still the same as you were before. It's okay to make you feel that way. Years ago, Vi Vi was named the youngest fake university in the world. You chose to be an adventurer and was selected straight into silver. Your first time picking herbs. Then a man told her to take Ren Theo at the same time in the forest and picking herbs. Then she called Ren to get the herbs. Put it in your luggage for you. And she realized that Ren had picked a whole barrel of herbs before you both meet the monster. And Ren told Vivi to use magic and let me cover the front. In one stroke, she destroyed the monster. Ren realized that Vivi was going to fight like this. When you sit back, Vivi realized that. Ren is quite proficient in picking herbs. You know, apart from reading, know how to write. It also requires knowledge of plants. What monsters learn, they learn. Because I don't know when they're going to need that knowledge. And for the first time, a fake university like I had to ask a normal person like Ren to teach me. You've known and been close to each other ever since. It's been 15 years now. Ren is still working hard to level up. And you're watching my back every day. That afternoon, Ren returned home from the blacksmith shop. Husband and wife blacksmith gave him a sword for temporary use. When you leave, the couple realized that Ren is still a good person. You must have a problem related to the curse, and didn't want to cause trouble for the couple. That's why I didn't say Ra. But in the end, I still believe in coming to them to get a weapon. So they'll wait until you're ready and say everything. That night, when he returned home, Ren had dinner with Vivi. She noticed Ren didn't seem hungry and didn't need to eat. And you're determined to keep evolving, to become a new form, more like a human. I see you focus on killing monsters. It's no different. The next day, Ren went into the labyrinth. Then I met a man who was struggling with a Slim. I've been helping out here, and noticed that this man seemed to be quite an amateur. Ren then turned away and chose that adventurer into the labyrinth. You have to be responsible for your own life. Even if you die, you have to suffer. But Ren doesn't want to get involved with this person. I'm afraid this is a case of pretense. To attack and rob the property of the rescuer. The man then ran to Shin as Ren's comrade. He just did it. Adventurers and cannot beat the monster kindly. He's a chef and has a stable job. But because I'm in debt, you have to take a risk and into the maze to pay off the debt. He asked to join the squads, but no one took it. You have to go into the maze alone. Sorry, I don't have time to help. In the case of this chef, unless you find a high-class treasure, fortunately I have enough money to pay the debt. He was about to give up when Ren suddenly told him to go. You can also carry things for yourself. Ren then looked at the wound on his hand. There's suddenly a strange feeling. It still doesn't feel right. But Ren chose to go with this chef. Ren then led the chef to a secret passage that you've found before. When you go inside, Ren realized that the dragon was indeed gone. Are going to look around. The chef suddenly found a way Another secret he thought was, if the time for the meeting, he must have earned a good amount. But he has no intention of taking Ren's credit. But Ren told him to take the credit. Don't be afraid, because Ren wants to go inside and see them both. Then I found an empty room.